2 of the 2024 MLB postseason takes us to American Family Field for Game 2 of the National League Wild Card Series between the New York Mets and the Milwaukee Brewers. Yesterday we saw the Kansas City Royals get their first road postseason shutout in their franchise's history. The 1-0 win over the Baltimore Orioles. They currently lead 2-1 over them right now in Game 2 of that postseason series in the AL Wild Card. It is the Brewers and the Mets here at American Family Field so far. The Mets, they won Game 1 on an 8-4 shellacking in the first game. So as we have the starters for the two teams, it is Sean Manaea for the Mets and Frankie Montas for the Brewers. Earlier today, it was the Detroit Tigers defeating the Houston Astros 5-3. 5-2, I meant, as they continue to get run after run in the later innings off Ryan Presley and Josh Hader in a heavy upset. These gritty Tigers were 55-63 at August the 11th with a 0.2% chance of making the dance. They rallied to win 31 of their next 42 to make it in, qualifying on the fourth to last day in the MLB regular season for a win over the Chicago White Sox. They have just defeated the Astros 5-2 today. And today, see the Royals potentially upsetting the Orioles. They're up 2-1. So these two teams up and going already. Hello everyone, I am Alec Nava. Welcome to Milwaukee. So Sean Manaea will take the mound for the Mets after he surged forward at the end of the regular season. He has had struggles in the first half with his xFIP being at 429. But since the All-Star break, he has thrown to a 375 xFIP. The biggest change by far has been his command. He has lowered his walk rate from 10% to 6.8%, and his location plus rating has gone from 96 to 99. The other big change, his sinker, which he throws more often, and the stuff plus rating on it has increased from 89 in the first half to 104 in the second half. Interestingly about this game, Manaea's last start of the regular season came against the Brewers. He got lit up for 6 runs over 2 2/3 innings. He's very dependent on his sinker to set up the rest of his arsenal, but the Brewers were able to hit it hard. Ground balls 11 were not hit hard, while 7 were hit hard. 4 line drives, 2 each on not hit hard and hit hard. The first one on 7 ground balls, 3 were not hit hard, 4 were hit hard. Pop-ups, all 3 of those pop-ups were not hit hard. The fly ball, 3 of the 4 were not hit hard. It's going to be interesting to see how deep Carlos Mendoza will let Manaea go into this game. The bullpen was completely fresh, so wouldn't be surprised to see Mendoza turn to the bullpen at the first sign of trouble. At the bat, they don't have a lot of weaknesses, and they have a good matchup against Frankie Montas. Montas' main 3 pitches are fastball, sinker, and cutter. 3 pitches the Mets have crushed this year. The Mets are one of few teams in the playoffs to finish with WRC plus above 110 against both lefties and righties, which makes it harder for the Brewers bullpen to play in those matchups. And the Mets bullpen shut things down after going up by 4 runs and will be ready to go for Game 2. They've been really good down the stretch at the 4th best xFIP in baseball in the last 30 days. For Milwaukee, Montas will get the ball for Game 2, but it's not expected he would be lasting very long in the game. He came over the Reds, and since he's been in Milwaukee, he's been a lot better. Since the trade deadline, he has a 374 xFIP, almost a full run lower than when he was with the Cincinnati Reds. The big difference is that he's been getting a ton of swings and misses. In the month of September, his strikeout per 9 rate is at 14.05 after being below 7 over the first 2 months of the year. The bats came alive early against the Mets. At the top of the order did most of the damage, but the 4 through 9 hitters combined for only 2 hits. And they've been very league average in terms of WRC plus against lefties, but shelled Manaea in his final regular season start. The Brewers won a lot of games with base running, defense, and a strong bullpen. Out of all the teams in the playoffs, they have had the best defensive rating, were second best in base running. And the run game was held in check on Tuesday. But in the previous series against the Mets, they were 16 of 16 on steal attempts. The Brewers have one of the best bullpens in baseball. It's not surprising to see them use it heavily. They finished the season top 10 in both xFIP and pitching plus, and that was with Devin Williams, their closer, injured for a majority of the season. Trevor Megill filled in his absence in that sense. We go over to our starting lineups entering this game. We begin with the visiting New York Mets. Francisco Lindor at shortstop. Jose Iglesias at second base. Mark Vientos, third base. Brandon Nimmo, left field. Pete Alonso, first base. JD Martinez at DH. That's the lone swap that the Mets are making. We are back. So here's our starting lineups, beginning with the visiting New York Mets. So as to repeat this for the Twitch side because of technical difficulties on that end. So to repeat, Francisco Lindor at shortstop, Jose Iglesias at second base, Mark Vientos at third base, Brandon Nimmo at left field, Pete Alonso at first base, JD Martinez at DH. That is the lone change that the Mets are making at the batting order. Among the players there, Jesse Winker was the DH yesterday. Starling Marte at right field. Tyrone Taylor at center field. And Francisco Alvarez at center field. For the Brewers, it goes like this. Jackson Chourio at first base. So Jackson Chourio at left field. Blake Perkins at center field. William Contreras at catcher, William Adames at shortstop, Gary Sanchez at DH, Rhys Hoskins at first base, Sal Frelick at right field, Joey Ortiz at third base, Bryce Terang, who was the leadoff batter yesterday, he is now the last batter on the orders. He is at second base. Yesterday the lines looked like this. For the Mets, it's Lindor, Iglesias, Nimmo, Vientos, Alonso, Winker, Marte, Taylor, and Alvarez. So they swapped Nimmo with Vientos on the 3 and 4 spots, and put Martinez in the place of Winker. For the Brewers, they're all over the place. Terang was the leadoff batter. They moved Chourio up to the leadoff spot and put Blake Perkins at second in the order. Terang ninth. Joey Ortiz usually is the last batter. He is now 8th in the order. Sal Frelick, so Ortiz, Frelick, Hoskins, they all get moved up a spot. Adames also moved up a spot. Garrett Mitchell will sit. So he is on the bench to begin this game. We'll be right back for the first pitch in just a moment. While we're not going to have the first pitch until 7 minutes from now, we could get some backdrop about Game 2. So, the Mets looking to win their first World Series in 38 years. The Brewers have never won one in their franchise's history. The Mets' 8-4 victory sets up the teams for an elimination game here tonight. A pair of former Oakland A's teammates set to face off on the mound. Sean Manaea and Frankie Montas. They both were teammates in Oakland. By the way, are moving to Sacramento temporarily before they get their new stadium at Las Vegas. So as to recap what happened in Game 1 in an 8-4 Met victory. Luis Severino pitched 6 innings. He allowed 8 hits, 3 earned runs, struck out 3, 2 walks. But it was the bats that got the job done. In the first inning, it was all Brewers. William Contreras got RBI bases, scoring in Bryce Terang. Rhys Hoskins was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. That scored in Jackson Chourio. No further damage done. Top of the second, Jesse Winker hit an RBI triple, scoring in Mark Vientos and Pete Alonso. Starling Marte hit a sac fly to center, scoring in Winker. Bottom of the fourth, Jackson Chourio hit an RBI basis, scoring in Sal Frelick. Bryce Terang was safe at third on a fielding error by Tyrone Taylor. And also at the bottom of the fourth, William Contreras grounded out to short and scored Terang. It was a sacrifice ground out to short to make it 4-3 Brewers, but that was all the scoring that the Brewers would do. Ever since, it was all Mets. And that was at the top of the fifth alone. Jose Iglesias reached on infield base hit, the first, scoring in Taylor. Mark Vientos hit an RBI base hit to right, scoring in Iglesias and Francisco Lindor. Then JD Martinez hit an RBI base hit to right, scoring in Brandon Nimmo and Mark Vientos. Martinez filled in at the DH spot for Winker. By then, Luis Angel Acuna filled in at second base. He subbed to the place of Mark Vientos in the batting order. Harrison Bader in for Starling Marte by then, moving Taylor to right field. And third base, then occupied by Jose Iglesias by then. Luis Severino, Jose Butto, and Ryan Stanek were the three pitchers used. They did not have to bring out Edwin Diaz. Freddie Peralta got the start for the Brewers. Pitched 4 innings, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. The relievers had 3 strikeouts combined for Milwaukee. Joe Payams took the loss in 2/3 of an inning, allowed 3 earned runs, 2 hits, 1 walk on 14 pitches. Aaron Ashby, Nick Mears, and Aaron Civale were the other pitchers used up by Milwaukee. Civale went 35 pitches. So the Brewers and the Mets getting set. In this brief history at the best of 3 wildcard series, teams winning Game 1 have gone to advance 14 out of 16 times. Of the 10 teams to take Game 1 on the road, 8 have won the series, including 7 via a sweep. The Brewers will try to buck those numbers. So the Mets will send Manaea, their best regular season pitcher, to the mound. His season has changed in late July, lowering his arm slot in an attempt to mimic Chris Sale, the Braves ace. From July 30th through September 21st, he went 6-1 with a .263 ERA, 311 starts. A run of excellence that the Brewers, of all teams, finally snapped a 6-run drubbing on September 27th. He hasn't pitched since and will be working on regular rest in this one. He's also looked to shake off a reputation for inconsistency in October. He's been the losing pitcher in all 3 of his career postseason outings, about .1526 ERA. For the Brewers, Montas made 11 starts with them with a .455 ERA, dropping to a .395 in 10 starts if you remove that 1 blow-up outing in that span. A 7-run outing against the Diamondbacks in his next to last start of the regular season. Brewers coaches worked with the vet on some mechanical adjustments that led to a velocity bump. 4 of his top 6 average fastball velocities came in after the trade. One of them in a September 27 tune-up against the Mets on Montas' final start. So Carlos Mendoza took a calculated risk in starting Winker over Martinez at DH in Game 1. And Winker vindicated that faith with a 2-run triple. But Winker doesn't have quite the same track record against Montas that he did against Freddie Peralta. Mendoza will have Martinez, who pinch hit for Winker in the 5th on Tuesday and delivered a 2-run single. So it's Lindor, Iglesias, Vientos, Nimmo, Alonso, Martinez, Marte, Taylor, and Alvarez. For Milwaukee, Chourio started the leadoff spot on opening day against the Mets at Citi Field, becoming the youngest player to make the major league debut in a season opener as the leadoff man. Since Boston's future Hall of Famer Bobby Doerr in 1937, Chourio later moved to the 2-hole against righties, but still bats leadoff against lefties, with switch hitting Blake Perkins and right-handed hitting Gary Sanchez often joining that lineup. The Brewers are 24-24 in games started by opposing left-handers in the regular season, including a win over Manaea in the final series. The Mets will be in much better shape for Game 2 at the bullpen than they were in Game 1, now that Edwin Diaz and top setup man Phil Maton each received a day of rest. They should be available for at least an inning each, as should every Mets reliever other than Jose Butto. For the Brewers, by virtue of Quincy Central with more than a week remaining, they were able to get their bullpen lineup just right, which helped to explain Game 1 starter Freddie Peralta's early hook. That didn't work, and Pat Murphy will now head to Game 2 having used reliable bridge reliever Joe Payamps for 14 pitches and the electric lefty Aaron Ashby for 18, with wins needed in the next 2 nights. They still have a lot of good arms because they did use Devin Williams, Trevor Miguel, or Jared Koenig in Game 1. That's thanks to Aaron Civale, who was the starter of the regular season, giving the Brewers 3 scoreless innings its first bullpen appearance as a professional. So of note, Francisco Lindor continues to play at less than 1% after he suffered a lower back injury in mid-September, but it has not affected his play in recent years. Barring a setback, he'll continue to start shortstop every day. For the Brewers, Sal Frelick shocked his own manager Pat Murphy by being available not only to play in the series, but start Game 1 after suffering a bow bruise his left hip during the final series of the regular season. He looked relatively unaffected for most of the night, including a double to spark a go-ahead rally in the 4th inning. So who's hot and who's not between them? Mark Vientos, 5 multi-hit efforts in his last 11 games, including a Game 1 barrage, seeing Vientos single twice, scoring twice, and knocking a pair of home runs. Also keep an eye on Martinez, if he plays, because since he busted out of a career worst 0-for-36 slump, he has hit safely in 3 straight games. For the Brewers, Turang is 8-for-19 in his last 4 games played, including a 3-hit effort in Game 1, where he became the 5th Brewers player with multiple doubles in a postseason game. The last to do so, Jesus Aguilar, Game 6 of the 2018 NLCS. As Montas is warming up, you're set to get underway here in Milwaukee. The Brew Crew eagerly waiting for a postseason victory and a postseason series victory to advance for the first time since 2022. Brett Baty is one of 3 players on the Mets taxi squad in Milwaukee. Hasn't appeared in a major league game since June 9th, and he will not do so in this series, unless one of his teammates gets injured. But just being here is an achievement for him, who lost the September call-up opportunity when he fractured his left index finger at the end of August. That pitch-up mix-up, 4-seamer at 33.2%, sinker 19.1%, cutter 18.7%, split finger 18.3%, and slider 10.7%. That's the pitching usage for Montas in the regular season, heading into Game 2 of the NLWCS as Lindor is set to walk up right in front of William Contreras. We are set to get underway here in American Family Field. The Mets winning here yesterday 8-4. Currently at 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Beautiful weather outdoors in Milwaukee. Our home plate umpires Chris Siegel, first base umpire Vic Carapazza, second base umpires Alan Porter, third base umpire Mike Estabrook, left field Brandon Miller, and right field Alex Tosi. So the first pitch by Montas to Lindor is down the middle. Perfectly delivered for strike 1, sinker 97, as he delivers the first pitch strike towards the likely NL runner-up for MVP voting, Lindor. 0-1. And as ball 1 of the sinker at 96 takes it down low. And if it wasn't for Shohei Ohtani, then you would see Lindor's name all over the NL MVP talks. So position by position on the breakdown, when we look at these, as this was way off, in and out the hand of Contreras, and though Milwaukee cruised to a playoff spot down the stretch, They had their sights set on potentially getting a first-round bye up until season's end. The Mets, meanwhile, were trying to fight their way to the playoffs, which they managed to do so in epic fashion this past Monday at Atlanta. The 2-1 is outside, fastball 97, and the dust just barely settled onto the Mets' frantic push for a playoff spot. William Contreras got his first career All-Star starting nod earlier this summer and played even better in the second half. He has finished the season hitting 281 with 23 home runs, 92 RBIs, 99 runs, and 831 OPS. Lindor fouls to left, it's a full count now. In August, he racked up 9 homers, 23 RBIs, 1.046 OPS in 28 games. And meanwhile, Francisco Alvarez has flashed a lot of pop and has played solid defense behind the plate for the Mets. He's posted just a 590 OPS in the second half of the year after an 844 in the first half, and that's a walk for Lindor. He'll go to first and the first base runner. It's the bottom of the ninth. Meanwhile, for the Royals and the Orioles, 1-0 with 2 outs and a swing and a miss for Gunnar Henderson, who is 0 for 3 in this game. 1-1. Lucas Erceg tried to get the second save of this ALWCS and a trip to Yankee Stadium on the line. The 1-1. Another swing and a miss. Change up 91. Montes tries to pick off Lindor. Can't do it. So we're monitoring both games at once. Bobby Wood Jr. is paying attention. Swing and a miss, and that's the ball game at Baltimore. The Kansas City Royals shock the O's and move on to New York to face the Yankees in the ALDS. Iglesias goes low in the meantime, batting .337 on the year. 0-1 is the count. A beautiful sight here in Baltimore for the Royals as they get their first postseason victory since winning the World Series. It's low! Sinker 96. On the low side, it's inside. The 0-2 on its way here for Iglesias. Iglesias fouls, he'll stay alive. Fastball 97. But the Royals, they upset the Orioles and extend their postseason losing streak to 9 straight games. Here's the 0-2. Bouncing ball to short. Could this turn 2? There's 1. The other one is not in time. Safe. It's Iglesias. Slow roller on a 6-4 free fielder's choice. Willy Adames took care of Francisco Lindor, putting him away. But it was just hit just enough. And right before that was caught by Rhys Hoskins. Reaching over to first base on a fielder's choice was Iglesias. So he gets things going. Mark Vientos now. He's getting set. First pitch for Vientos. Bouncing ball is going to be a tough play at third. Ortiz can't pick it up. It'll be an infield base hit for Vientos. So 2 aboard here. Runners at second and first. Iglesias at second. Vientos at first. The Royals sweep the Orioles. Joey Ortiz could not pick this one up. He was trying to pick it up with his throwing hand. Couldn't do it. A chase down pickup. Not there. Adames is just outside of second base. He is the shortstop. A little hug between him and Iglesias. Embrace. The Mets immediately are threatening to get a run. Nimmo is 1 for 5 in game 1. He had a run though. The crowd is starting to go wild here. Sinker 96. To get Ian on board. I know we have a lot to say about the Royals. Hey, good to have you on board. AODS bound, Ian.
Yes, they did. Hey, by the way, what was that guy saying the other day that we were just White Sox merchants?
Oh, well, instantly proven wrong for Andrew.
Yes. Oh, man. Dude, I gotta be honest. Look, I figured we were gonna lose at least one game in the wild card series. We were gonna lose at least one game, but you know what? They're headed to Yankee Stadium.
Hey, and right on cue, we have a run scored by the Mets, and that is 1-0 thanks to an RBI base hit. Yet, and the Royals moving on to Yankee Stadium to face the Yanks. Brandon Nimmo gets the Mets on the board first. Jose Iglesias ends. Nimmo batting for that fourth spot. Carlos Mendoza made the decision to switch Nimmo and Vientos in the batting order. Yesterday, Vientos was the fourth spot. Nimmo was the free spot. You want to have the guy with the higher batting average at the free spot, and that is Vientos. But between Vientos and Nimmo, no weakness there. And I figured that in that matchup between Baltimore and KC, that the most intriguing matchup would be the shortstop battle. Bobby Witt Jr. and Gunnar Henderson. But it was clear that the advantage goes to Witt. He wasn't the batting champion of this year for no reason.
No, he wasn't. And you know what? I still believe. I get it. Aaron Judge does what he does. But I still believe my heart of hearts Bobby Witt Jr. is the MVP. And I'm not even saying that as a Royals fan. If you look, the MVP is supposed to be the most valuable player on their team. Or just the most valuable player in that conference to their team. And I'm sorry. But the Yankees have both Soto and Judge. While Judge's stats are fantastic, it is.
Oh, wow. Willy Adames dived to turn two away. And there are the final two outs of the top of the first inning. So 1-run score for the Mets. I don't know if check, Ian. You there? Guess it's technical difficulties here, but 2 up and 2 away on that double play as Adames made a diving catch for 6-4 free double play. So we go to the bottom of the first, where first we'll see Jackson Chourio, Blake Perkins, and William Contreras. 1, 2, and 3 the order for Milwaukee. So Pete Alonso, you gotta watch it. He slipped on the way to first base. He's at first base. He was on his way to first base, and he slipped up and lost his ground. running on his way to first base, which caused a double play, which Willie Adames turned both him. It turned away both Nimmo and Alonso. So Alonso was the 5 spot. So Jackson Chourio down for the middle. Sean Manaea, 3.47 ERA, which is 8th in the NL. Had a long flow entering this season, but he has since cut that off. So a sinker at 94. It's an 0-2 count off that foul ball. Blake Perkins inserted at the 2 spot in the place of Garrett Mitchell. He is due up next. Here's the 0-2. High fly ball to right. This one's on its way, and Chourio watches it fly. Jackson Chourio on board for his first career home run shot in the playoffs. 103.4. 26 on the launch distance on a degree angle. 376 feet to right field. And Milwaukee is on the board. Crowd under feet here. Chourio getting them offered away, potentially for Game 3 tomorrow night. Strike 1, right center. And that was for Perkins, batting .240 in the postseason. In the regular season, that is. Perkins! That is up high, lifted up to shallow left, and taking care of this. 1 up and 1 away. As William Contreras will now move up. Went over to left field, taken care of by Nimmo. To the free spot, Contreras, as Timmy Trumpet begins to play. As famous Edwin Diaz as his walkout son whenever he goes to the mound. So Rhys Hoskins is no stranger to big postseason moments as there's strike 1 for Contreras. He's clearly no stranger to the Mets as well. Also solid hitter, 26 home run shots in his debut season with the Brewers after missing all of last year because of a torn ACL. He sustained spring training with the Phillies. That said, Pete Alonso put up a 34 home run season while playing all games to help the Mets overcome a slow start. Bouncing ball between the gap for a base hit to left field. Tyrone Taylor is over to pick it up. And Contreras gets a base hit off Manaea. So Alonso's averaging 42 home run shots and 110 RBIs per season for his 5 full big league seasons, excluding 2020. At second base, a tough call between Bryce Terang and Jose Iglesias. On this matchup, Terang cooled off considerably after a hot start, hitting .220 with a .564 OPS in the second half, after hitting .277 with .731 OPS before the All-Star break. Still, he had 50 stolen bases and played excellent defense up the middle for Milwaukee. Iglesias, meanwhile, has been a spark plug in New York, hitting .341 limited playing time, providing the OMG mantra for the Mets. It's a toss-up here. Willie Adames 0-1 after strike 1. The next pitch will be Manaea's 10th. And Adames pumps and misses. It went up high, sinker 94. Terang's speed and glove may give him a slight edge. At short, Adames had a big season for the Brewers, putting up 32 home runs, 112 RBIs, and 21 stolen bases. And strike free! Top center for Willie Adames on a 95-miler sinker. Francisco Lindor, on the other hand, had an MVP caliber year for the Mets. Lindor finished with 33 home runs, including a decisive 2-run shot in Monday's wild win over Atlanta, sending the Mets to the playoffs. 29 stolen bases and 91 RBIs. They did all of that while playing elite defense, leading all shortstops with 16 outs above average. And it must be noted that a back issue sidelined Lindor for most of the final 2 weeks of the year as Gary Sanchez takes strike 1 down the middle. It's something he said will be dealing with for however long the Mets play this year. At third base, Vientos had a breakout year for the Mets with 27 home runs and posting an .838 OPS through 110 games. Ortiz has been solid for them. Sanchez swings and misses. 94 on the sinker. So he's been solid for the Brewers, slashing .249, .329, .726. 11 homers and 11 stolen bases, but Vientos' pop gives him the edge. I would assume Maybe because Ian's phone died. 0-2. Low up high, sinker 95. At left field, for anyone who hasn't had a chance to watch Chourio during his breakout rookie year, check him out in the playoffs. He turned a 2020 year in his debut campaign, hitting .275 with 21 home runs and 22 stolen bases over 148 games. And on the other side, Brandon Nimmo slugged 23 home runs of his own as Contreras gets back to first. The pickoff attempt took too long. 21 homers and 22 stolen bases over 148 games. And on the other side, Nimmo slugged 23 home run shots of his own, swiping 15 bases while racking up a career-best 90 RBIs. His veteran presence is big for the Mets. Sanchez did not go, but is barely outside at the top left corners, 2-2. Chourio's game-changing skills may get the nod over Nimmo in the position breakdown. It's hard to separate any players who figured to get time in center field in this one. Between everyone involved. Manaea's 2-2 pitch. Sanchez pops it up. Manaea thought that Alvarez was in position to get a catch, but no. Harrison Bader and Tyrone Taylor for the Mets and Blake Perkins for the Brewers are all very similar players, but the experience of Bader and Taylor, who by the way is a former Brewer, tips the scales ever so slightly in New York's favor. In right field, it remains to be seen if Sal Frelick get on the way. That's outside, change of 88. It's a full count with 2 outs. He said on Monday he's good to go, which is a surprising development after he crashed into the wall hard on Friday against the Mets. Sustained a significant bone bruise in his left hip from the play, was on crutches until Sunday. Even if he's good to go, it's fair to question if he'll be at 100%. And that is the case here. And with that in mind, Starling Marte, it's a down year by his standards, but still swiped 16 bases a year, has come through in the clutch more than a few times. 6 postseason run for him. Sanchez, no swing, got him out. Manaea closes out the first inning down through the middle. They'll get Ian back in here. Jackson Chourio shone brightly of a third pitch home run to tie this up at 1. Welcome back on board, Ian.
Yeah, sorry, my buddy called me. He's a Royals fan too, and we were just celebrating, man. I mean, this is Alec. I can't reiterate this enough. The Royals lost 106 games last season and have now made it to the ALDS in the very next year. I don't think that's ever happened in MLB history.
We'll have to check back. But I think this may be a first.
Yeah.
But what a pickup Lucas Erceg has been for you guys.
I'll tell you, they paid a toll to get him, but you know what? He's worth every penny, and they have him under control for 5 more years.
As you're closer to the future, that works wonders for you.
Yep, and you know what? Listen, these games were by no means pretty. They were ugly. They were gritty. Very little offense. Pitchers duels all the way. But you know what? That is Royals baseball right there. Okay? We make our living by playing sandlot baseball. We will steal bases. We will hit for contact. We'll hit for a little bit of power. We do not rely on the long ball. That's not our game. But we will chip and chip and chip and tear them apart.
And also relying on the legs, which is very useful.
Yes.
Of course, stolen bases is a crucial part of the game. And you see how shortstops, they're usually the fastest player on a team. That's the case last year with Corbin Carroll. Well, even though he didn't play shortstop, he's an outfielder. but he is one of the fastest players in the MLB. Trey Turner is one of the fastest in the league, and he has the most stolen bases in Philadelphia. Though Bryce Harper, he can also chime in the stolen base department. 0-2 here for the Mets. JD Martinez against Frankie Montas, but as we look at clutch hit after clutch hit, Bobby Wood Jr. provided that, reaching on an infield base hit. You guys had 2 infield base hits in the 6th inning to score the winning run.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And to give credit to the guy who drove in the first one, a returning Vinny Pasquantino has not lost. He may not have the power back just yet, but he still puts bat to ball. And he drives it just far enough to bring in that first run in the first inning.
2 for 4 in this game, so now we have 1 up and 1 away as Martinez will sit down. Starling Marte has had a down year by his standards, but in no means is he ever a bad player on the Mets.
Nope. 269 for the season. That's, yeah.
Solid numbers for any other batter.
Yeah. And on the Mets, he's not asked to be the franchise like he was like he was on other teams. Oh, wait a sec. Hold on. Hey, Alec, I'll be right back.
No worries. 2-1 count here. So the Royals moving on to face the Yankees. The Detroit Tigers will face the Cleveland Guardians. So it's an AL Central showdown. In the ALDS, and the Tigers, between the Tigers and the Guardians, Royals and Yankees will face off in the ALDS as well. 3-1 count. It's on the way. Ground ball to first. It's going to be a simple toss to Montes. And Montes mishandled it. Marte stops at first. It's a fielding error by Frankie Montes. So Rhys Hoskins did a very good job of chasing that down. So Starling Marte is safe at first after a fielding error by Montes. As to recap the scoring between the Royals and the O's, to begin things off, it is Vinny Pasquantino on RBI base hit to scoring Michael Massey. Cedric Mullins tied it up in the bottom of the 5th. The home run to right center from 398 feet out. Pasquantino at the top of the 1st to lead it off. Bobby Wood Jr. on the 2nd infield base hit of the 6th inning, scoring Kyle Isbell and moving Massey to 2nd. Lucas Ursig got the save for KC. He's under the Royals' control for 5 more years as their closer of the future. Angel Zerpa got the win for KC. Seth Lugo got the start. He struck out 6. Zach Eflin went 4 innings. Lugo went 4 1/3. First throw. Down on bottom left. No swing from Tyrone Taylor. Batting .248. In between the Tigers and the Astros, I joined in John Ott for the final outs of this game. The bottom of the 9th. Detroit coming huge in the top of the 8th inning. Getting hit after hit off Ryan Presley. This is down at shallow center over Adames' head. Marte is still going, and he's stopping at 3rd. A base hit by Tyrone Taylor against his former team moves Marte all the way to 3rd base off an error from Montes. So the scoring here, to begin the scoring was Parker Meadows on a home run shot to right, solo run at right field. John Singleton and Jose Altuve got the next 2 runs for Houston. Singleton grounded to a fielder's choice. He scored Victor Caratini on an error. Then Altuve hit a sac fly to right, scoring Jeremy Pena. Kerry Carpenter scored on a wild pitch by Ryan Presley. This was a foul ball to the left on a sinker 95 for Francisco Alvarez, who was 0 for 4 in Game 1. Then Andy Ibanez had an RBI double to the left, scoring Spencer Torkelson, Matt Vierling, and Colt Keefe. 3-run RBI double at the top of the 8th after Carpenter tied the game. Alvarez lines it up to left center for a base hit, and Marte delivers the go-ahead run for New York. An RBI base hit for Alvarez, and Taylor is at third. A very hot bat here for Alvarez, who delivers his first hit of the postseason this year. And once Marte knew that was crushed, he got in. Top of the second here. Runners at the corners. 1 out. Lindor is back at the top of the order. 845 OPS. The Mets are back to the top of the order. 30 pitches off Montas. Lindor swings on the first pitch. Is this going to be deep enough for a sac fly? Tyrone Taylor is on his way. The throw to home is cut off, and that's 3-1. Productive outs here as Lindor sacrificed himself to score, and Taylor, they get the job done. Pat Murphy standing alongside the Brewers dugout. And how long until they go to the bullpen? That's a big question. So Frankie Montas, one to watch, but also Sean Manaea, former Athletics teammates. Now it's Jose Iglesias at the 2 spot. Iglesias takes strike 1 on the cutter at 90. Top of the second here. 32 pitches into Montas' day. Most of the times I'm watching the Brewers, he's been the pitcher on the mound. The 0-1. Iglesias didn't go. It's a slider at 87. So Montas and Manaea were actually traded together, but to different destinations. Interestingly, it is 1-1 on the count. Here's the delivery. Iglesias right by second base, and another base hit. Alvarez stumbles, and the throw to third is not in time. The throw to second, and safe! It's Iglesias. The bats are on fire here for the Mets as Iglesias crushes one off Montas here in the second inning. Mark Vientos, who has been on fire in Game 1, he is now up for New York. And we don't know if there's going to be a mound meeting soon enough here for Montas. Second base occupied by Iglesias, third base by Alvarez. Vientos hit on his first on the first at-bat. The delivery is low. Fastball 96. That was a dart. Way low. That one, that bat past Terang. 35 pitches into Montas' day. Iglesias taking a few steps away from second base. High fly ball to right field. Vientos. It will not be deep enough. Taken care of by Frelick to bring us to the bottom of the second. Rhys Hoskins, Frelick, and Joey Ortiz. Next up here when we come back. back here at American Family Field. Mets lead 3-1. Entering the bottom of the second with Sean Manaea back on the mound. Top line. So strike one here up against Rhys Hoskins. Mets thrown by 2. They're in a familiar spot as they're trailing. Here's the second throw. And that is on to the right. So the Tigers on their way to Cleveland. And all AL Central ALDS. Here's the 1-1. On the right line. Sinker 90. Hoskins guessed on that one. They have yet to find out who's going to face the Philadelphia Phillies and who's going to face the Los Angeles Dodgers. The 1-2. Upstairs, sinker 95. Phillies are the 2 seed. They'll face the winner of Mets Brewers. Dodgers are the 1 seed. They'll face the winner of Padres and Braves. Padres are up in their series 1-0. This one grounded beyond the foul line left side. Sweeper 80. 2-2. Manaea 23 pitches into his day as Christy Yelich observes onwards. Here's 2-2. Up high, sinker to shallow left. Who wants it? Nemo steps up. And he makes a catch. 1 up and 1 away. And among the DH, JD Martinez, he's far from the 43 home run homer, 130 RBI hitter who helped the Red Sox win a World Series in 2018. But he still has the ability to change the game with one swing. A career 283 hitter with 331 home runs. He not only helped Boston win the 2018 World Series, he's part of the postseason runs with the Detroit Tigers. Upstairs! On the sinker on the high line, 93 miles an hour. Perfect placement up against Frelick, 0-1. He's also part of postseason runs with the Tigers, Diamondbacks, and Dodgers. This is bouncing, but it's fouled. Its experience alone is a huge asset for New York. And the rotation is one of the harder categories to decide. Half the Mets need to use Luis Severino in Monday's doubleheader. The edge would have gone to the Brewers. But the Mets clinching a spot by winning the first game, that allowed the Mets to hold back Severino to start game 1 opposite Freddie Peralta. Frelick, who was injured when colliding with the right wall. But he is back ahead of schedule. Shock Pat Murphy and company. And the Mets can roll either Sean Manaea and Jose Quintana both on full rest, which is the case here. Frelick turned away. That almost nearly hit his jaw. Ouch. 1-2. The Brewers figured to counter Frankie Montes and Tobias Myers, each of who has had the struggles this year. In the bullpen, the Brewers arguably have the best bullpen in the NL this year. The Leaf Corps lead the NL with a 3.11 ERA that throws only the Guardians. Timeout called here by the Brewers. Throws only the Guardians to 257 across the majors. That's despite Devin Williams missing the first 4 months of the season. Williams has returned as good as ever with 14 saves and 1.25 ERA. Brewer 22 appearances down the stretch. Coupled that with Trevor Megill, 2.72 ERA. Jared Kader, 2.47. Elvis Peguero, 2.98. Brian Hudson, 1.73. Joel Pines, 3.05. Milwaukee has no shortage of high leverage arms who can shorten a game in a hurry. Full count now after 2 straight balls by Manaea with 1 out. It's not an outcome series that would be surprising. The Brewers could sweep a Mets team playing just 2 games, but that's not the case anymore. Bouncing ball over the head of Manaea. This is a tough play here to first. Punched out! Couldn't bury at first base. And the Mets put 2 up and 2 away. Not a whole lot of time to run. Sal Frelick using his speed. That was a tough play that time around by shortstop Lindor as he turned around and fired straight line at first base. But Frelick, are they going to look at it? Did he get there by half a step? That is very close. And Sean Manaea pointing at first base, signaling the out. Does Pat Murphy use his challenge? No, he won't. He'll go on. This is a high fly ball. This will be a right center. Stepping there is Starling Marte to record the final out. A sinker at 93. Nimmo, Alonso, and Martinez. The next 3 due up for the Mets when we come back. once again back here in Milwaukee. We're now beginning the third inning. Mets continuing to lead 3-1. They've been batting very good so far this postseason. Make it here on the final day of the regular season on a thrilling 8-7 victory over the Atlanta Braves. The Mets did get the 6th seed. The Braves the 5 seed because they won on the second of the 2 doubleheaders. Check swing at third base. Retracted. 1-0. So far in the series, Nimmo is 2 for 6 with an RBI and a run. 1 for 1 in this game. Base hit and an RBI. 224 batting average in the regular season. Nimmo's one of their top guys who can bat at the 3 or the 4 spot. Nimmo pumps and misses. He went low on the driver. 96 miles an hour on the sinker. Joe Ross is getting set at the bullpen. That will take Peralta. So that will take Montas out early. Carter 93 is to the right. 2-1 the count. At the first sign of danger, Pat Murphy may go to his bullpen and put Ross in. 39 pitches into the day for Montas. It's now fair to wonder how much longer he'll go. Bottom right corner. That fooled out Nimmo. 2-2. House on the cutter at 92 miles an hour. If the Brewers have an elite bullpen, though, how reliable would it be against the Mets? Nimmo fouls to right. And the bullpen that includes Aaron Ashby, Jared Koenig, Nick Mears, Trevor McGill, Joel Pyatt, and Joe Ross. They had to go extended innings. DL Hall and Aaron Civale are also at their disposal. The 2-2. Nimmo fouls again. His roster for the Brewers also including Eric Haas, Jake Bowers, Andrew Monasterio, Isaac Collins, and Garrett Mitchell. Another 2-2. Outside, 88 on a splitter. That becomes a full count. Nimmo has a good eye. Pete Alonso is on deck. Starting rotation also including Jose Quintana for the Mets. Full count throw. Drive up to center field. Back at the wall. And there's the catch. The second inning started off with a fielding error by Frankie Montas, and that turned into an RBI base hit. And then a sac fly, in which the Mets got up and going. So that second inning featured Francisco Alvarez scores and a base hit to center, scoring in Starling Marte. Francisco Lindor hitting a sac fly to left. Tyrone Taylor scored in at the run. It's down for the center. There will not be a check swing. For Alonso, it's 0-1 on the count. Off that cutter at 92. Yo, what? This one bouncing to third. It's going to be a long throw for Joey Ortiz. Got it. Sinker 97. 2 up and 2 away. And the roster for the Mets on that bullpen having Huascar Brazoban, Jose Butto, Reed Garrett, Max Kranick, Adam Altavino, David Peterson, Ryan Stanek, Danny Young, top setup man Phil Maton, and the closer Edwin Diaz. First throw for JD Martinez. Martinez for left field. It's at the shallow side. Good catch there by Jackson Chourio to put him away. Bryce Terang to lead off at the bottom of the third. Alongside Chourio and Perkins when we come back. back here at American Family Field as the recap on the ESPN side is being shown. The Orioles and the Royals. And before that was the Tigers and the Astros. Royals moving on to face the Guardians. Tigers moving on to face the Yankees. The AL Central represented nicely here in the 2024 MLB postseason. And the Dodgers, they have set their NLDS starters. Shohei Ohtani is not likely to pitch. So Jack Flaherty's going to start game 1 this weekend's NLDS series for the Dodgers, with Yoshinobu Yamamoto set for game 2. And Dodgers GM Brandon Gomes said that the team hasn't finalized plans for game 3 and potentially game 4. Walker Buehler and Landon Knack will likely be involved in such games. The Dodgers are playing the winner of the Padres and the Braves. So as we move on back to where we were, the Mets and the Brewers now switching over to the ESPN side. As that's over there, is a 1-2 count. So time called here for Jackson Chourio. Runner is on a base. That was Bryce Terang. So I apologize for my lateness, as I was not expecting it. If I was going to be shown on ESPN2 for its entirety. But no. That was up until the move. So they're showing on ESPN2 the Padres and the Braves. It's 2-2 now with Terang at first base. That's because Terang hit a base hit to center. Bottom of the third, 2-2. Manaya having thrown 41 pitches. 2-2. Chourio fouling to left, sweeper 79. So 2 hits and a run yesterday for Chourio. He has a home run today. Wearing number 11 for Milwaukee. Their big name rookie. A core piece for the future. The 1-1. There's 2-2. Right line. Manaya punches out Chourio. Made sure that there will not be a home run this time around. That's the third for him. Sweeper. That time around, he brought the heat on for the right line and caught Chourio guessing on for the right line of the strike zone. Now it's Blake Perkins. First throw. Way upstairs. Terang stays put at first base. Perkins was 0 for 1 on this game. Fly out to left. The regular season side, 240 batting average with 6 home runs and a 647 OPS. The 1-0 pitch will soon come. And Manaya thought about it between first base and home plate. But that caused Terang to go back to first. The Brewers base running the regular season, they are second in stolen bases, 217. Plus 19.8 BSR stat. That's the percentage. 1-0. Upstairs on the high line. 1-1 on a sinker. 94 miles an hour. The Brewers need to get more runs in. Down by 2 in this third inning. Certainly not going to be any easier for them. Swing and a miss. If it a foul ball, though, it's a sinker at 94. They will list it 1-2. Remember, later today, it is the Dodgers watching eagerly to see who they face. The Padres and Braves watching that game over Petco Park. So 1-2. Bouncing ball is going to be a tough play. The throw to second was way too slow. Bryce Terang is safe at second base. Blake Perkins reaching on an infield base hit. The throw was way too slow. Not even a smoke screen. It took a bounce, but that was a very slow throw from Francisco Lindor. And the Brewers are in striking distance. Runners at first and second with one out. Perkins at first. Turang at second. Normally it would be a fielder's choice that would knock out Turang. Instead, it is a reach on an infield base hit. Contreras 2 for 5 with 2 RBI. It'll be a battle of trumpets if Contreras would have faced off against Edwin Diaz. Take strike one on the left line. 94 on the sinker. 0-1. And Contreras leaned for the way. Preparing himself for the next one. All-Star catcher this year. First All-Star nomination. Here's the 0-1. It's in there. Sweeper 81. On for the left line. Just slightly to the inside. 0-2. Heading into Manaya's 50th pitch. Adames on deck. If the Mets don't turn 2. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Contreras will sit down. The Trumpets this time siding with the Mets. Even though Manaya is not leaning for the way on the trumpeting. That will be Edwin Diaz and Timmy Trumpet. He said that he is a Met fan for life because of that. And Contreras saw it up high on the fastball at 96. Decided to go at it. Went in swing mode. 14 balls for 86 strikes on 50 pitches for Manaya. As he's now going up against Willie Adames. Adames just slightly outside on the top right corner. That is ball number 1. So the velocity from Manaya is there. Maximizing at 95, maybe 96 miles an hour. Manaya looks back and forth. High fly ball is going to be at shallow center. Taken care of by Tyrone Taylor. And that'll end the 3rd inning. Starling Marte, Taylor, and Francisco Alvarez. The next 3 up for the Mets in the 4th. Fourth inning now here in Milwaukee. As the Mets are preserving a 3-1 lead right now. You look at the NLDS batting lineups. One thanks to Francisco Lindor. This is bouncing to right field for a base hit off the cutter at 90 miles an hour. As Starling Marte. The best of 5 NLDS will open Saturday at Dodger Stadium. Now last month, Dave Roberts left over the possibility of Shohei Ohtani being an option on the mound later in the playoffs, saying that anything is possible. It's not 0% chance, but Ohtani will continue throwing bullpen sessions as he rehabs from a second elbow surgery a year ago. But there are no plans for him to face live hitters, much less take them out in an actual game. And there's Marte going to second base, and he is tagged at second. The throw on time from Contreras to Tarang. Gets ahead of steam, trying to steal second. They'll have a look at it. Did he get his hand there beforehand? I believe Marte does get that left. Does get that hand there first before the tag came down. It is very tight, but it's a 50-50 chance. So Contreras is walking up. Marte discussing. So he is not left second base. So the Dodgers will rely on Ohtani's bat to help get them through. He did his record-setting first year with the team. Flaherty joined the Dodgers to run the Tigers at the July trade deadline. And the deal brought him over to his hometown. So the tag may be a split second behind after Marte. So the Mets challenging. The call is that Marte is out at second. So Flaherty had a 3.58 ERA and 55 1/3 innings over 10 starts for the Dodgers. Yamamoto has made just 4 starts since coming off the IL, missing nearly 3 months with an arm injury. He's allowed 2 runs at Colorado in his final tune-up last weekend, pitching 5 innings, his longest outing since the returning. He may be a rookie, but he's got plenty of big game experience in native Japan, including pitching in the 2022 Japan Series, leading the Oryx Buffaloes to victory in the Tokyo Olympics where he led Japan to a gold medal. And Dodgers finished the regular season with the best record in baseball. And Marte is safe. So the call is overturned after the challenge. Carlos Mendoza will retain his challenge. So the tag was a split second late. And for the naked eye, it may be a tag at first. But when looking closer to replay, now there's a man in scoring position for Tyrone Taylor. First pitch, so that pitch is to the left on a sinker at 95. And the Minnesota Twins have fired 4 of their coaches after a late season hitting slump, dismissing hitting coaches Rudy Hernandez and David Popkins, assistant hitting coach Derek Shulman, and assistant bench and infield coach Tony Diaz today. Strike 1 on the bottom left corner. Fastball 95. There was no swing there. The Twins, they lost 27 of their last 39, not securing a playoff berth despite holding a 5-game cushion in the AL wildcard race. They hit .218 in September, the second worst average in the majors behind the Royals. The 1-1. Now is downstairs, sinker 96. It's announced that Rocco Baldelli will return in 25. Hernandez held various roles with the Twins since he joined them in 1996. Was the assistant hitting coach from 2015 to 2019. 4 serving as one of the primary hitting coaches from 2020 to 2024. The 2-1. Downstairs, slider 88. Contreras made a good block. And for the Dodgers, they're putting one of their coaches, their announcer, Fernando Valenzuela, on personal elite to focus on his health. He's an icon. Montas is ready. Swing and a miss. Low slider. But went for the drive. Frankie Montas gets the second K for tonight's outing on pitch number 54. Mets lead 3-1, though they get one out. Announced that Fernando Valenzuela, a franchise icon since he took the baseball world by storm with his legendary 1981 rookie season, stepping away from his role as a Spanish-language radio broadcaster for the remainder of the playoffs to focus on his health. But he aims to return for the 2025 season. Called strike 1. Fastball 97. That looked to be ball 1. It was surprising. So the Brewers, they go very deep on the bullpen. Having one of the best bullpens in the MLB. A fallback that they can rely on in the event they see a sign of trouble. But this Mets team is very good at the bats. Ever since their June surge, with Grimace throwing the first pitch. Foul back, sinker 96. And with the Tigers, AJ Hinch, he wanted them to embrace the spirit of their city. Hardworking, not giving up, and with grit. And now they stormed into October and they kept on going. 0-2. Downstairs, fastball 98. Andy Ibanez hit a tie-breaking 3-run double in the 4-run 8th inning, and the Tigers swept the Astros with a 5-2 victory. And Barker Meadows hit the home run with the Tigers ending Houston's run of 7 straight appearances in the ALCS. Revenge for Hinch, who led the Astros to a championship in 2017, fired in the aftermath of the sign-stealing scandal. They entered Wednesday 1-22 and won in the postseason since 2000 when trailing in the 8th inning or later. The Astros have won 47 straight games when leading in the 8th inning or later until today. And Ibanez became the first player in franchise history to have a pinch hit, go-ahead hit in the postseason. The 2-2. Back onto the screen. Fastball 97. Kerry Carpenter sparked that 8th inning rally with a 1-out single off Ryan Presley. Converted his first 14 postseason save opportunities. Carpenter advanced to a third on a single by Matt Vierling, the only player on the Tigers with World Series experience. Scoring on a wild pitch. Swing and a miss. Splitter 88. Francisco Alvarez drives it low, and Montes redeeming himself on the 60th pitch as Alvarez went low. Now Montes has to go up against the NL MVP runner-up, presumably Francisco Lindor. But Montes is now apparently done, but they may not be letting Montes pitch any further. He is done through 3 2/3 innings. He has done the job. Runner at second base. Montes done after 60 pitches. 4 strikeouts. We'll be right back. Trevor Megill in as the next pitcher up for Milwaukee in 48 games, 2.72 ERA for Megill. As he is walking up. Montes done. For 2 first innings, he is responsible for the runner at second base. That being Starling Marte, who stole second base. 1 mile on our fastball. 0-1. That was fired over, fouled. McGill, usually a setup man for Devin Williams. Brewers already trusting their bullpen for the sequence. McGill looks to home and then back to second. Delivers the 0-1. It's low. It's going to be Lindor tap dancing away from the plate, so he is not hit by a pitch. It's spiked to the dirt. Marte did not move. Knuckle curve at 87 miles an hour. And these Tigers built on grit. Bobby Wood Jr. leaned away for the Royals. Another narrow victory. And McGill uses his first disengagement. It is not a pickoff attempt. Interestingly, in the first postseason appearance for the Tigers since 2014, the Tigers also got a solo shot from Parker Meadows to the 6th. Fouled again, 1 miles an hour on the fastball. It's their first playoff series win since the 2013 ALDS. Just making it to the playoffs seemed improbable before they went 31-11 in their next 42 after August 11th. Help along the leadership of Hitch, who knows something about October success from his time with the Astros. The 1-2. Check swing at third. He did not go. Detroit became the fourth team in MLB history to win a playoff series after being 10-plus games back from a playoff spot at least one and games into the season. Joining the 1964 St. Louis Cardinals, the 1969 New York Mets, and the 2011 St. Louis Cardinals. That one spiked low. 89 on the curveball. And each one of those teams that I mentioned went on to win the World Series. It's the first 9 wildcard series since they began in 2002 up in sweeps. It's the 4th sweep in postseason history for the Tigers. Previously sweeping the ALCS in 1984, 2006, and 2012. And this one driven up to shallow left. Called for by Jackson Chourio. And he makes a catch on a curveball at 89 miles an hour. Back in just a moment for the bottom of the 4th. Division Series starting on Saturday. If we get you back over to American Family Field, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That is upstairs on the first pitch for Sanchez. 91, the fastball for Sean Manaea. 53 pitches in. Atlanta's on the board against the Padres. 1-0 they lead. They have the bases loaded currently. Sanchez grounds it over to Lindor, and he will put him away. The ex-Met played 3 games with them before he went to the Padres. Now over with the Brewers. That one grounding over the direction of Lindor. It's a bases loaded situation for San Diego. 2 outs though. Marcell Ozuna hit a sac fly to score Michael Harris. Strike 1, this is at bottom center. Rhys Hoskins on for the way 0 for 1 in this game with 1 out. Bouncing ball, this goes towards Mark Vientos as a tough play for him, and just got him out. 2 up and 2 away. Bases loaded for San Diego. Merrill at first, Profart second, Tatis at third. And this is with Bogarts at the plate. Should there be a run scored, Solano is the next man up. (3-1) Mets lead. Manaea is still going. See who is the next man up for Milwaukee if they decide not to go back to McGill. And that time, Sal Frelick was looking at a sweeper at 78. The 4 for 9 has been the weakness for the Brewers thus far as Frelick fouls. 1-2-3, that's a fine there between Churiel, Perkins, and Contreras. Adames hasn't been his usual self, but the 9th spot of Terang, he could be going strong. Sal Frelick grounds it over to center for a base hit. Sinker 95 that time around for Manaea, and he gets this crowd pumped up. He's been freezing these Brewers hitters time and time again. See this slider fastball combination working wonders. Going for the back door, finding the strike zone, down for the center. And through the back half, Manaea has delivered through 59 pitches, 5 hits allowed, 1 run, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts. So his defenders have done the job thus far. 93, sinker. They've done the job thus far through this inning. On a ground out. Twice. Ball 2, sweeper 78 is on the right side nearby Joey Ortiz, who is the extra base hitter for the Brewers. Only score for them was on a Jackson Churiel home run shot to right field. Manaea through 61 pitches has delivered 43 strikes. 4 strikeouts thus far for him. At 2-0. Ortiz fouls to right. Brandon Nimmo opened the scoring in the first. RBI base hit scoring in Jose Iglesias. Then the second inning, Francisco Alvarez, RBI base hit scoring Starling Marte. Then Francisco Lindor, sac fly to left scoring in Tyrone Taylor, the ex-Brewer. Manaea looks back and forth. 2-1. Ortiz fouls again. Noah staying in the field of play. Maybe not, actually. Going over the catching fence. And Frelick will go off. Moving back. 2-2. So on to the top of the second at San Diego. The Braves get off the bases loaded jam. The 2-2. Ortiz fouls yet again. No shortage of shortstops here for either side. Two count here for Ortiz as he sees another one. Yet another foul ball. So we'll have another ball going their way. 65 throws this far. Alec Navajuichu. Ball at the fourth. 3-1 Mets. John Out covered the earlier game. That's the Tigers and the Astros. They won 5-2. Manaea looking onwards. Yet another foul ball. So we'll go for an 8th pitch in the sequence. So this has been going on basically forever. The Brewers' old jerseys had the Times New Roman font. They since changed that. Here's another 2-2. Now it's a full count. It's right between Ortiz and the right line. Bryce Terang's on deck. Should Milwaukee reach? Brewers fans on their feet, cheering on Ortiz. They're waving their towels here in Milwaukee. Time is called. It's not a balk. The 3-2 with 2 outs as Manaea takes a breath. Everyone's on their feet. Now he gets set for the delivery. Bouncing ball to short. It will be thrown all the way to first base, and that puts Ortiz away for the last out to 4th inning. Iglesias, Vientos, and Nimmo as Manaea does the job. 5th inning is next. Just a reminder, John Ott and I will be back for NHL coverage next Tuesday when the Florida Panthers host the Boston Bruins for Banner Night. The Panthers race their first ever Stanley Cup banner, turn a new page into the next NHL season to begin 2025 in the States. And some drama over there with Jeremy Swayman potentially holding out, maybe. We don't know. But the contract situation is getting ugly. Swayman was offered 8 years to $7.8 million. He wanted $8.5 million. Wow! They're going to call that strike one. It was outside, well beyond the left line. Trevor McGill through ball one. Check swing at first base. Curveball 87. They'll call it as such. This is just across for Jose Iglesias. Braves and Padres at the middle of the second. Atlanta leads 1-0. Iglesias loading up for the 0-2. Strike free at the left line. Fastball 101. Trevor McGill does the job as the bullpen comes on for Milwaukee. And they begin things up with a slam. 1 up and 1 away. No scoring since the second inning. First pitch this time as Vientos retracted. That's a good eye. 1-0. So now here's the 1-0 for Vientos, and he swings and misses on that first curveball. So for those asking about why they wore the number 24 as a patch on their jerseys, that's to honor the late Willie Mays. Passed away earlier. It's 1-1 for Vientos. The 1-1. Curve to the inside in the top right corner. 88 miles an hour. So Mays passed away earlier on the year. So to say hey kid, played 23 seasons in the MLB. Because one of the greatest pitchers of all time. Five-tool player who began his career in the Negro Leagues. Miguel goes way up. 2-2. So Mays was an all-around athlete during the Black Barons of the Negro American League in 1948. Playing with them until the Giants, then known as the New York Giants, signed him upon his graduation from high school in 1950. This is in the air onto the foul tracks. Will this get over to the stands? It will. So he debuted in the MLB with the Giants and won the Rookie of the Year award in 1951 after hitting 20 home runs to help the Giants win their first pennant in 14 years. Then winning the NL MVP, leading the Giants to their last World Series title before their move to the West Coast. His over-the-shoulder catch in Game 1 of the 1954 World Series, one of the most famous. Check swing at first base. He went there. Just enough. And that'll be the second strikeout the inning for Trevor Megill. 15 pitches into the day. Continuing to go over 100 miles an hour, and Vientos got just enough. And the fans knew it. Brandon Nimmo, who is 1-for-2 on the day. 727 OPS, 224 batting average, 23 home runs. Mays went on to win. Nimmo fouls it off a 101 mile an hour fastball. And after the Giants moved to San Francisco, Mays went on to win another MVP award in 1965, leading the Giants to the 1962 World Series. This time losing to the New York Yankees. His pitch, that's a ball, curveball 88. It's a classic example of a five-tool player. Finishing his career with a 302 batting average. At the time of his retirement, he held the NL record for the career runs scored at 2,062, ranking second in league history behind Stan Musial in games played. Third in home runs, at-bats, RBI, total bases, extra base hits, and walks, forfeit hits. Fifth in slugging percentage. And Nimmo was hit by the pitch on a curveball at 88, and he will walk to first automatically. Crucial decision here for Pat Murphy. Slightly caught the funny bone. And that's with Pete Alonso coming up. 18 pitches in for Miguel. So 5th in slugging percentage, 8th in doubles. 140 triples, ranking 4th among players active after 1945. Holding MLB records for games as a center fielder. Putouts as an outfielder. Foul back, 99 on the fastball. And his career only behind Ty Cobb in total games as an outfielder, ranking 7th in assists, 3rd in double plays, and center field. 0-1. Here's the delivery to Nimmo. Upstairs. And Nimmo thought about stealing second base. Thought better of it. So Tyler Holton and Hunter Brown got the starts for Detroit and Houston respectively. It's a bullpen game for the Tigers. Same case for the Astros. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. He went golfing. Diving down onto the dust. 1-2 and onto the dirt. Works over the top and at the bottom of the zone as fans are on their feet waving their towels here at American Family Field time is called for the Brewers on Trevor Miguel. Back then, the starting lineups were Parker Meadows, Kerry Carpenter, Matt Vierling, Riley Green, Colt Keefe, Spencer Torkelson, Zach McKinstry, Trey Sweeney, Jake Rogers for Detroit, Jose Altuve, Kyle Tucker, Yordan Alvarez, Alex Bregman, Yainer Diaz, Victor Caratini, Jeremy Pena, Jason Hayward, and Chas McCormick for the Astros. Miguel is getting set here for another 1-2. The Padres have tied it up at Petco Park. That's thanks to Kyle Higashioka. Solo shot to left center, 371 feet. Nemo's at second base on a pitcher's indifference. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Trevor Miguel does the job here in the 5th inning to put away Pete Alonso, Turang, Churio, and Perkins when we come back. Halfway point of the first 9 innings, which is the regular 9 innings in this game. This is getting out of the way. Was Turang, usually the leadoff batter, 1-1 after he took strike 1. He's the second baseman for Milwaukee, going up against Sean Manaea, who is still going through the 5th inning. Frankie Montas pulled the 4th. Joel Payamp swarming up at the bullpen. Trevor Miguel did the job for the last out the 4th and the 3 outs in the 5th. Bottom right corner, change up 85. Manaea fit that one perfectly. Now becomes a 1-2 count. Mets preserving a 3-1 lead, trying to knock off the Brewers here. The Padres, on the other hand, are also trying to knock off the Braves. They have tied up at 1 apiece in the 2nd inning. They're also, once again, in a bases-loaded situation with Manny Machado at the bat. Fired to left field, sinker 93. Profar first, Tatis second, Arias third. And Max Fried, allowing 6 hits, is striking out 2. The 2-2. Turang, it's a fair ball. Gets this one inside. Turang is still going on his way to second. Nimmo can't pick it up. Turang, he'll back up and stop at second for a double. Grounded this one to left. Through the other direction. They have rolled a fair ball as this takes a friendly bounce off the left field wall. Nimmo couldn't get to it. And once Turang saw that Nimmo can't pick this one up and it was out of his reach, he kept going. Making contact with the ball through center. And puts himself in a wonderful position. The Padres break into the deadlock. Manny Machado, RBI double, scoring Arias and Tatis. Bottom of the fifth, runner at second is Turang. Jackson Chourio fouled to right, sinker 93. He has the only score for the Brewers. So the narrative of the Royals being White Sox merchants being debunked with their ALOWCS victory and sweep over the Orioles today. 0-1. Chourio grounds it to second. That'll put him away and move Turang to third. Bottom of the fifth with Blake Perkins up. And that was on a sweeper 83 off Fried. Blake Perkins now up. He's making his way up onto the plate. 3-1 Padres, they lead. Machado 1 for 2 of a double and 2 RBI. Malmedy initiated. And Manaya getting a award of his catcher, Francisco Alvarez. And the pitching coach, Jeremy Hefner. Manaya threw 4 1/3 innings, 76 pitches, 6 hits, 1 run. That's an earned run, by the way. He is the second pitcher onto the plate. Struck out 4. 55 strikes, 2.08 ERA. Montes of a 2.045 ERA. Strikeout 3, 6 hits. 1 earned run. Miguel, 3 strikeouts, no earned runs. And no walks. The first throw. Sinker 94 is a low upstairs for Perkins on the 77 pitch. So Manaya's day may come to a close after the 5th inning. We'll get some official word from Carlos Mendoza if he's going to make a swap. The 1-0. Way off on the throw. Sinker 93. And Manaya earlier today, as he was warming up at the bullpen, warming up with his catcher, Francisco Alvarez, at the bullpen before the game started. The 2-0 throw. Perkins skies it and fouls it. 93, sinker. 2-1 is the count. Who knows if there's someone warming up at the bullpen right now for New York. And this is drilled to center field and is caught. A sacrifice fly to move in Blake Perkins. The Brewers are back in this. They're within 1. Bryce Turang is in off the Blake Perkins sac fly in the 5th inning. And a trumpet sounding for William Contreras. His brother Wilson Contreras was a World Series winning catcher with the Chicago Cubs in 2016. He's in the rally towels here. Contreras takes ball 1 to the left of zone, 79 on the sweeper. He is the youngest son of William and Olga Contreras. William Contreras II. Sweeper 77 is at the same place as the first pitch was. Wilson Contreras, the catcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. A 3-time All-Star, 2018, 2019, and 2022. The 2-0. He finds the zone. Bottom right, sinker, 93. And those trumpets normally sounding for Edwin Diaz. He was wearing his hoodie right now. The Padres up 5-3. The 2-1. Swing and a foul here. Sweeper 77. And that's thanks to a Jackson Merrill RBI triple to center, scoring Jurickson Profar and Manny Machado just before the second inning. If we don't get a game free, then good to go here. But if we do get a game free here in this series, I'll be calling that tomorrow. Full count now for Contreras. Let's see if we can have this one even up here in the 5th inning. The full count throw for Contreras. This is grounded over to Lindor, who bobbled it. Here's the throw to first, and it is caught. Right on time. Lindor had trouble with it, recovered, and then delivered a perfect strike to first base upon the first sign of trouble. Mets at the bat when we come back. Joe Payamps taking over at the plate, or the mound I meant for the Brewers. Looking to rally them back from down 2. It's a tighter game as opposed to game 1, and the Mets dominate at the bat. 0 for 2 of a strikeout is JD Martinez. Former World Series champion with the Red Sox as Martinez fouls this one as an 0-2 count. The Brewers now within 1. They need 2 to take the lead. Padres Braves at the top of the 3rd inning right now. Martinez fouls again. He'll stay at the plate. The ball boy will run to that spot to pick it up. And a timeout called here by Martinez in the meantime. Now it's a short timeout that time around, but no worse for wear as Martinez takes ball 1, slider 85. That throw was to the left for Payamps. Saw regular season in an elite bullpen for Milwaukee, one of the best bullpens in the MLB. It's been constantly a strength. 2-2 now, slider 85. So the patience here for Martinez. Top of the 6, 2-2. Martinez didn't go. It's a slider 85. Those last 3 pitches outside to the left of the zone. You got to have this here if you're Payamps, considering you let up 3 straight balls. Payoff. And that's 4 straight balls for Payamps. Another sinker, this one at 96. And Martinez will walk to first. So Jackson Merrill, a Rookie of the Year favorite, as this bounced off the wall. It's not a ground. Did not go out for a ground rule double. 5-1 Padres over there. 3-2 Mets here. Sinker 96, as this was a swing and miss from Starling Marte. 1 for 2 thus far. 1 for 4 on the series with a walk, run, and RBI. 715 OPS, 269 batting average for the regular season. 7 home runs, which is typically a down year by his standards. Marte fouls this one. Fastball 96. As Marte fouls it again, he stays alive. Slider 85. And was driven to the left side of the strike zone. Brewers team not expected to contend for the NL Central, as this would usually be for either one of the Cubs, the Reds, and the predictions, as this was grounded past the second baseman Terang for base hit, as Martinez will stop at second. New York has come alive here in the 6th inning, as this one grounded past Terang. The base hit, there was nobody there to man that area. And the tables have turned. So word here from Pat Murphy on Joe Payamps. Joey Ortiz, one of those young key pieces. They're so fun to watch for the Brewers. And Jackson Chourio as well. $11 pitches in thus far. The Mets having a 71% win probability. Brewers 29%. That wasn't crushed. Hit the Mets in stride thus far. With Marte finding its composure. Tyrone Taylor 2 for 6, a double and 2 runs. 701 OPS, 248 batting average, 7 home runs. First throw. Taylor skies this one. It's at shallow center. Sal Frelick charged up, and nobody's moving. Out number 1 here. In the top of the 6th. A double play still up for grabs. Game 2, Francisco Alvarez now up. The Mets could eliminate the Brewers and move on. The Padres up 5-1. They're now back in the order. And this is not there, so it's timeout called by the Mets. 710 OPS, 146 in the series with an RBI. Bouncing ball right short to catcher, as this is the throw is delivered from Payamps to Hoskins, the first baseman, but this moves the bases. It's a tough play. So Marte moves to second, Martinez at third. Francisco Lindor can crush it. He can expand on the Met lead. 0 for 5, however, in this series. He does have 2 walks, a sac fly, and a run. Playing through a back injury. He's been dealing with that back injury throughout the start of the playoffs. And Pat Murphy saying, whoa. I did not ask for my guy to be pulled Now he's having a war with the umpire. He's going, whoa, 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 whoa. He's talking to his catcher, Wilson Contreras. So Lindor is taking his gloves off and then putting them back on. So Murphy wanted a war with his catcher, Contreras, before this at-bat sequence. Can you signal that? I don't think you can. So it looks... Does it look like the Brewers are going to intentionally walk Francisco Lindor? And they will. So Payamps will intentionally walk Lindor to load the bases. Though Iglesias is one for free in this game. However, caveat here is that Lindor is so dangerous. Strike one, bottom right, sinker 95. Now Iglesias has a 337 batting average. He has played unlimited time with the Mets in the season, as this is just outside of the bottom right, the strike zone. Grand slam is in play. That is the danger of intentionally walking someone to load the bases. 1-1, 15 pitches into the day. 1-1 throw. Swing and a miss. 95, this one way more outside the zone. This one at the right side, between the right line and Iglesias. So intentionally walking Lindor could pay off. Who knows? I'm not a wizard. Here's the 1-2. It does! Payamps does the job, intentionally walking Lindor, knocking Iglesias out of his comfort zone. Adames, Sanchez, and Hoskins have yet to record a hit in this game, but we'll see if they do when we come back. Now the bottom of the 6th. Joe Payamps did the job. Now it's up to Adames, Sanchez, and Hoskins. They're reaching to a base. Reed Garrett now comes in the place of Manaya. Manaya pulled after 5 innings, allowing 6 hits and 2 earned runs. Struck out 4, finishing with an ERA of 3.60 in this game. 60 strikes thrown. Frankie Montas pulled after 3 2/3 innings, with Trevor Migo getting the final out the 4th. Garrett And Adames jumped out the way at that first pitch. 0 for 5 in the series with an RBI, so he is in a cold funk. He has to find that groove and get it going. The 1-0 for Garrett. Fouled off the left line, sinker 97. So Garrett averages 96.8 in the four-seam fastball. Here's a sinker 97. Another foul ball to the left side. Sinker, the splitter 90. That fastball averaging 96.4 miles an hour for Garrett, as he's usually one of the top setup men for the Mets. He alongside Phil Maton. He should be the first two out there before Edwin Diaz comes in. The 1-2. And this one to second will be taken care of. So Adames grounds out to second baseman Iglesias. He'll sit down. Now 0 for 6 in this series. Now Gary Sanchez, the former Yankee who played just 3 games for the Mets last year before going to the Padres. Top of the 4th with 1 out. Michael Harris fouling out to the catcher, Higashioka. First pitch for Sanchez. Nice curve to the top center. Sweeper 87. In the fewest games to reach 1 home run, Sanchez, 355 games. Behind Pete Alonso, who's 347. Ryan Howard, 325. Fernando Tatis, 362. The 0-1. Bottom left for Sanchez. Fit it perfectly. 0-2 on the count for Garrett. He needs this one to get the momentum back for Milwaukee. Miguel and Payamps did the job. Will Sanchez do the same thing here? And who is warming up at the bullpen in the meantime? His next pitch will be the 7th one for Garrett. The 0-2. Spike to the dirt. Splitter coming in at 91. So it's one of the faster splitters in the league. It's a 1-2 count. Here's the 1-2. Bouncing ball to short, picked up by Lindor, who mitigates the damage. There is no play. It is a infield base hit for Sanchez, who reaches to first. Garrett Mitchell will fill in his place and will more than likely be the DH for the remainder of this game. Mitchell brings it to speed. So Lindor limits any further damage. An outfield base hit, usually it's an infield base hit. The Brewers lead the league in infield base hits on the season. Something they specialize in. They're not a home run hitting team. But when they go deep enough that they can do their damage. Garrett tries to pick off Mitchell. And Mitchell gets back. Mitchell is the pinch runner now. Hoskins the batter. Last year he was on the Philadelphia Phillies. Spent the rest of the year on the IL because he was out for the rest of the season. Right line, 97 sinker. Up against Hoskins. 214 batting average and 26 home runs. He's 0 for 5 this series with a walk. 0 for 2 in this game. Sal Frelick is on deck. 0-1. Hoskins takes ball 1, sinker 96. Up against Garrett. One of the top relievers for the Mets. Winner of the series faces the Phillies. Hoskins' former team. Garrett looks to first. It's an automatic ball. There's now 2 disengagements here. So now Mitchell's at first. The 1-1. And Mitchell's on his way to second. Iglesias makes the tag. Nice job by Iglesias on a short hop to punch out Mitchell. And now the Mets only need 1 out. It's strike 2 as the throw done for Iglesias. All the way from Francisco Alvarez on the catch that was made. And the tag there was on time that time around. Right on the left shoulder of Mitchell. The ball was running away from him at that spot. Needs 1 more strike. Here. Swing and a miss. Splitter 91 and Hoskins will sit down. Tiny stretch. Vientos, Nimmo, Alonso. The next free up for the Mets. Seventh inning now here for the Mets as they're back up to bat with Vientos, Nimmo, and Alonso. The first free up. And Jared Koenig is out there. Changeup 87 on the right side. So far, the bullpen has done the job. 2.47 ERA, 62 innings in the regular season, having played 55 games. Strikeout rates at 24%, walk rate 9%. They're above the league average, both categories on the latter two. See, he's thrown 1 pitch already. Here's the second one. Swing and a miss on the top side. Sinker 97 after a changeup at 87. It's 0-2. Vientos 3-for-7 in this series. 2 RBI, 2 runs. Here's the 0-2. This one fouled back, 99 miles an hour, another sinker. And Vientos 1 for 3 in this game. Still it's 5-1 Padres at the top of the 4th inning. They pulled Max Fried after 2 innings. And this one went off of Koenig, picked up by Adames, and the throw to first is on time. So a little pinball here for the Brewers. Off Koenig, on for Adames, who picked it up and made a perfect throw to first as he was running. And usually it should be direct. It's a very tough play. On for the pick. 4 pitches in. So Brandon Nimmo was way up. Oh, he got out the way at that one. That was up high. Sinker at 97. 2 for 7 in this series. RBI and a run. A base hit. Hit by a pitch. And RBI. That would have been the second time he was hit by a pitch, which will result in an automatic walk. It's not the same as intentionally walking. Nimmo grounds it over to Ortiz, who delivers the throw to first. Cutter 91, 2 up and 2 away. So the toughest part of this order, still here, with Pete Alonso stepping up to the plate. So Koenig getting the job done right after where Miguel and Payamps picked up. 3 strikeouts for Miguel. Well, Payamps walked 2. He did get himself out of a bases-loaded jam. It's getting Iglesias. Broken bat to right field. It's down at right field. It's a base hit. Three-quarters of the way down for the third baseline is Koenig. That sinker running over for the right side. At the bat, that's a pitch that Alonso likes, and now JD Martinez moving up. And someone's going to bring that broken bat home. 13 of 15 hits in this series for the Mets are base hits. And Joe Ross is up at the bullpen. He's been over there for quite a long time. And Koenig is coming out. Top of the 7th, Alonso at first with 2 outs. Back in a moment. Joe Ross now on the mound as he is stepping up for the Brewers here to get the final out of the 7th inning. 2 up and 2 away. With both Vientos and Nimmo put away, Alonso gets the first hit of the 7th inning. So JD Martinez, left line, called strike 1, sinker 96 for Ross. 3.77 ERA for him in 25 games played. Strikeout rate 21%. Walk rate 9%. The Ross on the 0-1. Martinez caught by Joey Ortiz. He leapt up for that one, and that's the final out at the top of the 7th inning. Frelick, Ortiz, Terang. for the 7th inning when we come back. William Adames was in the lead too. And the sausage race, they do this every time. They do the sausage races here in Milwaukee. It's been a tradition here throughout. Now Ryan Stanek, the next reliever up. As the second setup man, Reed Garrett already used up 48 ERA, 63 regular season games, split between the Seattle Mariners and the New York Mets. 28% strikeout rate, 10% walk rate. Having to deal with Sal Frelick up, followed by Joey Ortiz and Bryce Terang. So Adames was in the sausage race. Up until he went down earlier. 2 for 5, Frelick, a double and a run. Terang has been the best hitter thus far for Milwaukee, 2 of 2. Starling Marte, 2 of 3. Frelick tried to bunt it. 98. Takes ball 1 as it was up high on the fastball. So attempted bunt. Ortiz on deck. Runner at first at Petco Park for the Padres. Strike 1 down the middle. 96 on the fastball. This is a more low-scoring game here for the Mets and the Brewers. Both guys getting the job done was the batters yesterday. Been a pitching duel thus far here, even though it doesn't look like it early. Fastball 98, up high, 2-1. So if Stanek can pull for a clean 7th inning, they'll set up Maton for a good 8th inning. And then Edwin Diaz for the highest leverage. Swing and a miss. Fastball, 97 miles an hour to make it a 2-2 count over at the bottom left side. So Maton getting the 8th inning. And then likely will be Diaz in the 9th inning if this holds up the lead for the Mets. That would set the Mets up for an NLDS series with the Phillies. The 2-2. Bouncing ball to second, and he is put away. Freeland will sit down. Iglesias taking the job up at second base, putting him away. Pete Alonso at first base. They both made the play. Ball at the 7th. Forgot to be on time, knowing that Freeland came in with such speed. He was coming in fast. Joey Ortiz fouls to left. There was a blazing cutter towards the left side. The Brewers have lost 20 straight playoff games when throwing into the 7th inning. The last time they won was the 1982 World Series, Game 4 against the St. Louis Cardinals. Ortiz took it low. He swung and missed. Splitter 89. 0-for-6 this series. He can definitely use a run here. 11 home runs, 249 batting average. Contreras getting set. The 0-2. Line drive to right. Backing up to make the catch was Starling Marte to put him away. 2 outs here. Now the hands of Bryce Terang up against Ryan Stanek. A lot of pressure for Terang to deliver. He delivered the run to put them within 1 for Blake Perkins' sac fly to center. 5-for-7 this series. He's been a bright spot for them. 3 doubles and 3 runs. Swing and a miss. It went in and out the glove of Alvarez. 1-0-1. Splitter that time. 3 hits yesterday for Terang. He's been their best batter in this series. Contreras has been their best batter throughout the season. Terang, if there's anyone who can deliver a key run here, it is Terang. Top right corner. Perfectly placed by Stanek over strike number 2. Now Terang is up against the count. The 0-2 throw. Bouncing ball to third. This will be a throw all the way to first, and Terang did not get there on time. Final out of the top of the 7th. At the bottom of the 7th, Marte, Taylor, and Alvarez. The first 3 at the 8th. Back in a moment. Joe Ross is continuing on to the mound for Milwaukee, entering this 8th inning. Time running out here for the Brewers. Season's on the line. Strike one. Though that was up for the bay, it was low. Against Starling Marte, 2-3. For walk, a run, and an RBI. Having himself a game here. Marte pumped and missed. Slider 88 was well outside the zone and an area which he should not have swung at. Devin Williams swarming up at the bullpen. He did not go yesterday, but because he did not go yesterday, he's in a good position to come out here. The 0-2 is outside, same placement as the second pitch, Slider 87. This time around, Marte did not go. Becomes a 1-2 count. Here's the 1-2. Upstairs. Way upstairs on the fastball at 94. The Braves, by the way, have cut it to within 3. That's thanks to Jorge Soler on a home run shot to center at the top of the 5th inning. That is well outside. Upstairs again for Marte. It's now full count and Ross in a danger area. Need to get something quick. Here's the full count throw. Outside left. And Marte walks to first. So a runner at first base. That puts Tyrone Taylor at the plate. Marte at first, who's been having himself a game. Lead the way for the Mets. If necessary, Game 3 is tomorrow, in which I will cover either one of these games in which it reaches to Game 3. This game is the front runner, though. The Tigers won 5-2 against the Astros earlier. Royals won 2-1 over the Orioles as well. Taylor won for free. 1981 AL Division Series, 1982 AL Champions, the banners here for the Brewers. In that World Series, they faced the St. Louis Cardinals. They have never won a World Series in their franchise's existence. That is strike one. Even though it was just outside the bottom left corner, they have called it such. Taylor 2 for 7 against his former team with 2 runs. That is for the series in and of itself. Taylor wants more revenge. Swing and a miss. He was late. 95 on the sinker. Came up empty-handed. The first one was a slider. Alvarez is on deck. Disengagement used on a pickoff attempt, and Marte got back. And he is shaking his head a little. In a little trouble. Oh, 2 on the count. Ross facing the pitch clock. 5 seconds. Gets it off with 4. Drilled over to center. Back at the wall. It is caught by Blake Perkins. And Starling Marte will make no attempt to take second. 1 up and 1 away. They'll put Alvarez on the plate. The ALDS on TBS. And ODS on Fox. This year. So the top 2 division winners on each conference awaiting the wild card winners. Now it's Alvarez, their big catcher. Francisco Alvarez grounds to Ortiz. 5-4-3. And at top of the 8th, ending double play here. 5-4-3 to send us to the bottom of the 8th with Churio, Perkins, and Contreras when we come back. 6 more outs here for the Mets to advance to the NLDS. This is now Phil Maton, the top reliever, up against Chourio, Perkins, and Contreras. The first 3 up, Chourio has been the second best batter on the Brewers, right behind Bryce Terang, who has hit 2 for 3 in this game. Chourio is 1 for 3 in this game, however. Maton, 3.66 ERA in the regular season through 71 games. 23% strikeout rate, so he's right around league average. Chourio is the leadoff batter. It's been this department for the Brewers thus far, and he has been looking comfortable as the leadoff batter. Normally he does so whenever the Brewers go up against lefties. And Bryce Terang when facing righties. Down the middle, 88. Curveball, 74 on the first pitch. Harrison Bader's swatting it at center field. Here in the bottom of the 8th. So there's a change here that the Mets have made. Luis Angel Acuna at second base. Here's the 1-1. High fly ball to right field. This game is tied. Jackson Chourio has done it again. Everything has been flipped. When it looked like the Mets are in control, Jackson Chourio has delivered again 2 home run shots and has won the biggest of the Brewers season to keep them alive and possibly forcing a Game 3 tomorrow. Chourio have a shot to right center. One of the contenders for NL Rookie of the Year. Now Phil Maton. You have to go up against Perkins, Contreras, and Adames. The next 3. Perkins and Contreras each have a hit. Adames has yet to have one in this series. And then after that is Garrett Mitchell, if either one of them reach. And the fans are waving their towels here at American Family Field. And trying to bunt was Perkins. Was 1 for 2. 647 OPS. Base hit and a sac fly. 6 home runs on the year. The 1-0. Strike 1 on the right side. Cutter 90. So everything has changed. It's Maton on the mound. Let's go Brewers chance here in Milwaukee. The 1-1. Line drive to right. It's down for a base hit. The Brewers are back in this game. Brewers fans now thrilled as the trumpets of war sounding with William Contreras. And while he's not facing up against Edwin Diaz, the party is on in Milwaukee. Contreras, when you get a clutch bunt, it seems, it's a strike-looking sinker 89. He did not present it all the way through. 0-1. And Contreras was 1 for 3. There is a runner at second base in the meantime at San Diego. At the bottom of the 5th. It's an 0-1 count. Pickoff attempt by Maton unsuccessful as Perkins got back. It's Jackson Merrill at second base. Perkins at first. Contreras 2 for 7 this series. 23 home runs. Though he can sound the trumpets with a go-ahead run. Would be a double or a home run. This one's out the zone. A curveball at 76. 1-1 count. And Christian Yelich. Well, he may be throwing the inside, but he doesn't want to show it. Game's not over. There's still a lot of games to be played. It's 1-1 on the count. And Contreras fouls to left. Sinker 88. Brand new ball game here. It's a 1-2 count. (20-year-old Jackson Chourio tying this game up at 3 apiece. Who will come up as the hero? The 1-2. Ground ball to short. This will turn 2. It will. 6-4 to 3. Lindor delivering the double play. Acuna and Alonso finishing it off. Jose Iglesias moves to third base. Harrison Bader at center field. Tyrone Taylor at right field. Those were the defensive changeups and that double play, keeping Maton on the mound to go up against Willy Adames. Has been hitless thus far in this series. First pro, swing and a wild miss. 92 on the cutters that went upstairs. 0-for-6, but can he deliver? 794 on the OPS. 32 home runs, which is a career high for him on the year. 0-1. And that's fouled back. 0-2 after that sweeper at 82. Garrett Mitchell's on deck. Devin Williams is warming up at the bullpen still. He's a righty. He's one of the elite closers in the MLB. That's here with Emmanuel Clase. Among the league's best. Alongside Clase, usually Josh Hader, Robert Suarez. 0-2. No swing. That was on a cutter at 91, so Adames stays alive as it was upstairs. Brewers trying to stay alive here and just saved their lives for the moment. 1-2 count. The delivery. Adames fouls to left. Had to do that because it was in the zone. And the bat boy will give the ball to one of the fans up at the front. The 1-2. Curveball foul to left. So Pat Murphy taking the place of Craig Counsell. He has done a fairly nice job. Leaned away. Let's even up. On the score line, 3 apiece. The 1-2. Line drive to the left. It's past Lindor. A base hit for Willy Adames. How about that for the first hit of this postseason? So it's a breaking ball. He likes that sweeper and slider. He saw it and went after it. And it went past the catching glove of Francisco Lindor, and that puts Garrett Mitchell on the plate. Now meeting, Jeremy Hefner coming in. So Hefner having a war of Maton. Quality control here being key. Adam Ottavino is warming up at the bullpen in the meantime. So the pitch at is coming into him. So Ottavino is warming up in the event that Maton doesn't last the rest of this game. This crowd on their feet. Here at American Family Field, they want to get a win here. First one since 1982 when trailing entering the 8th inning. First pitch, Garrett Mitchell lines it up to right field. It is out of here. Right off the wall and over it. Mitchell gets the Brewers the lead. And the place goes crazy. Garrett Mitchell, 2-run shot to right field. 390 feet. He and Adames are in. 5-3. Maton still going. In the meantime, up against Rhys Hoskins, but and all things else, that may spark the end for him. A broken index finger coming back, and now the 0-1 as this was low. Hoskins didn't go, sinker 90. But Chourio and Mitchell have delivered for the Brewers. The game time run and the go-ahead run. Now Devin Williams can put himself in a safe situation as Hoskins pops it up to first and the catch made by Pete Alonso. Devin Williams time. Can he close things out for the Brewers and send this to a game 3 tomorrow? Find out when we come back. Devin Williams getting set to save it for the Brewers. They have taken the lead in the 8th inning. They have not won a game in which they have trailed entering the 8th inning since 1982. Williams, a delayed start, missed the first 4 months of the regular season, came back and he has made 14 saves as their elite level closer. He delivers a first pitch strike on the changeup. 84 miles an hour towards Francisco Lindor, the likely NL MVP runner-up. Jose Iglesias on deck. The second throw. Swing and a miss. It's upstairs, 95 miles an hour. Lindor trying to find his composure. It's 0 for 5 in the series. Even though he has that run, he did set up that sac fly to score in Tyrone Taylor. Brewers fans on their feet. The entire dugout's on their feet, including Christian Yelich. The 0-2. That's up. Contreras will track it. It's in his reach, and he will catch it. 1 up, 2 down. It's 1 up, 1 down, 2 away. Garrett Mitchell is the man of the hour right now. He has delivered the Brewers the go-ahead home run, and if the save is here for Williams, it is the game-winning run to send this to a game 3. 390 feet to center, and it bounced off the wall and over the top. This one skied over to right field, and taking care of that is Sal Frelick. One more out, and the Brewers will force a game free. Everything on the line here. Jesse Winker in the place of Luis Angel Acuna as the pinch hitter. And should he reach, Brandon Nimmo will be up. So Williams has not recorded a strikeout thus far. There has not been a strikeout since Joel Payamps in the 5th inning. So in the 6th inning, some of the boos raining down on Jesse Winker. 1 for 2 in game 1 with a triple, 2 RBI, and a run. So Winker, a former Brewer, spending 61 games with them last season. First pitch is a little downstairs, 85 on the changeup. The Brewers, they are within grasp. All they need is this last out or 3 strikes. The 0-0. Curve to the inside on the left line. 85 miles an hour on that pitch from Williams. Beautifully dealt. Now it becomes a 1-1 count. Here at American Family Field. Williams against Winker. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Have to go on that one. Have no other choice. 96 on the fastball. And while Williams doesn't necessarily throw 100 miles an hour on fastballs, he is effective and he can deal and be dangerous over the inside. 1-2 against Winker. 3rd in the order. Winker replaced Acuna, who replaced Vientos. The 1-2. That's fouled back by Winker. This win would be if this holds, the Brewers would get their first win in the postseason in 3 years. Pat Murphy, the likely candidate for NL Manager of the Year alongside Mike Shildt. The 1-2. Upstairs. 94 on the fastball. Huge moment here for the Brewers, who are looking for their first playoff win in 3 years. Jackson Chourio, right back. Fly ball into left field. Chourio's right there. He makes the catch right in front of the warning tracks. We will see you tomorrow. Brewers win 5-3. And how fitting that the guy who started the scoring for the Brewers ends it. He led off with a home run to right, then got another home run, and for Garrett Mitchell to end it with the game-winning home run, 390 feet to center. Scoring him and Willy Adames. 5-3 to final. Joe Ross gets the win. Phil Maton the loss. Devin Williams gets his first save. So that is all here from American Family Field. Chourio, 2 home runs. Mitchell, homer to center. We'll see you tomorrow for Game 3 between the Mets and the Brewers. I'm Alec Nava saying so long from Milwaukee. Good night.